BTC Prague is the biggest Bitcoin conference in Europe. It's been quite a ride.
And I remember the first time I walked in having that feeling if you go through the door and just seeing everything get bigger and bigger, and you hear the noise, like the ambient people talking and the excitement, like it's bustling whenever you go in.
I feel like we are living in a time which I would compare to the Industrial Revolution, but this is a digital Industrial Revolution with effects which I can't even guess how big they will be.
What would you do if you had to run one of the biggest Bitcoin conferences in the world? I'm here today with Matyáš Kuchař. That's correct pronunciation, right?
Very good.
I was going to say you told me before, like, yeah, the name might be a little difficult. The last name certainly is. I think
It is.
Matyáš, that's okay for English speakers. But then I guess if you're reading it, do people ever call you Kuchar?
They do.
Does that happen?
Especially the French.
Because that's how it looks. It's Kuchar. If you want to try and pronounce it, the only change you need to make is CH, which is H, like back of the throat, and then R, which is R.
Yes.
Good luck with that one, everyone else. I've had 4 years to practice. So
You're very good.
I finally figured it out after enough time. So Kuchař, which means cook, right?
It means cook.
You're
or
like
chef.
Matyáš Cook. Or chef.
Chef.
I would take
Yeah.
chef. That's
Yeah.
what I would do. Cook is more common. I'd be like,
Yeah.
I want to be chef.
Well, I'm using kind of a nickname, a cook, Matthew Cook. I was given this nickname on high school, so I'm okay
Here
with
in the Czech Republic?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that makes it easier for everyone who's not Czech.
Yeah,
here.
and a funny story, when I started penetrating the Bitcoin ecosystem, my first job was writing an articles about Bitcoin for Alza, the Czech retailer.
Yeah.
And Pavel Rusnak, Stick, he was reading those articles, and I was using my nickname, Matthew Cook. And then we met in a real world, and he thought that I'm just like some Australian expat who learned very well Czech language.
So you guys connected before you even ran into each other in the world of Bitcoin?
Yeah, well, we connected first time I met Stig was in Paralelní and was a year 2020, I would say.
Okay. There's probably some context we can provide here, but how do you pronounce it? Paralelní
Polis.
Polis. That's,
Polis.
Paralelní Polis. It was the first coffee shop to accept Bitcoin.
Yes.
I think in the world. Or
I think
at
in
least
the
Czech
world,
Republic.
and they were really badass because they kind of accept only Bitcoin and crypto.
Yeah.
They haven't accepted any other fiat currencies. So, and at this time, there was this law that every business was obliged to be accepting currencies, but they kind of pulled the middle finger and they went around, and I think they were the only business in the whole Czech Republic who did that.
And so, wait, was it like some kind of loophole where they were like, technically it's a currency, so we can run the business this way?
Yeah, I'm not an expert in this, but they did it, and they didn't accept fiat currencies. You could only pay with crypto.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely made it stand out. I only visited like a few times, but I was like, is this really... I had to like see it to believe it. 'Cause I was like, that can't really be the case. But it was, like when you actually go there and experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
Matyáš is one of the co-founders of BTC Prague. It's the largest Bitcoin conference in Europe, which is crazy considering how new it is. Is there anything else you'd like to introduce about yourself before we get going here, or what BTC Prague is?
Well, yeah, thank you. BTC Prague is the biggest Bitcoin conference in Europe. It's been quite a ride since 2023 when we started. We kind of raised the bar every year, and I can say last year we had 7,500 people, 250 speakers from all continents, 4 stages. It's 3 days long with more than 100 Bitcoin-only booths and partners in the expo. So it's pretty massive event. And it's the biggest one in Europe and is the second biggest in the world.
Yeah, it's crazy, the impact that it has. I think when you walk in, I'm not just a BTC Prague shill. Like I can say as like an authentic user, someone who didn't really know what to expect. And my first year was 2024. It was the second year that the conference was in place. I was like, what is this going to be like? I wasn't sure. I guess I had no idea in terms of like quality or size or anything like that. First of all, I was trying to think of like what's a good comparison to explain to people how big this conference is. And this might be a bit of a reach for some people, but you've seen Indiana Jones, right? The
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
So like at the end of Indiana, and I'm going to keep this as spoiler free as I can. There's a box being wheeled into a giant warehouse, and the camera, I looked at it just to be sure before we sat down here. It zooms out and you just see boxes and boxes, rows into the distance where you almost can't see the back of the room, and it's like spread out in all directions. That's basically what BTC Prague feels like. It's like maybe unless if you knock down the walls, because there's multiple, you split off the halls so that I think the speakers don't interfere with the booths that are on the other side. But it is huge. It is so big. And I remember the first time I walked in having that feeling if you go through the door and just seeing everything get bigger and bigger, and you hear the noise, like the ambient, people talking and the excitement, like it's bustling whenever you go in.
Yeah.
That is what this conference is. If anyone is having trouble picturing like in your head or the feeling that you have, like it feels like a serious conference whenever you go there.
Yeah, thank you for your kind words. And I still feel kind of like in a dream that this is happening. And like we are preparing it for a whole year. We are working on it, and then it gets built. We come we come there like 3 days before the event starts, and it's empty. Then it gets built. People come in, they get the conviction, they learn about Bitcoin, they shake a hand, they get the real connection, and then they go out, and everything is deconstructed and taken out in like 12 hours. It's pretty crazy. Like
that's
just
insane.
24 trucks come in, come out, and that's it.
Yeah, I remember seeing like a picture posted to our Slack. I think it was either you. So it's you and your brother who both, and his name's Martin, correct? Yeah. So it's you and Martin. I remember one of you, I think, sent like a picture of our booth being constructed in the center because we have one as well, obviously. But I was like, man, like the amount of manpower. It was like something was, I think, a crane or something, like putting the logo up above the stage. And I was like, I guess this is how it's done. Just like an army of people come in and make all this stuff happen in such a short time. And I think this is just another comparison off the top of my head. If you've ever, this I think applies to anyone listening. If you've ever been to like a concert for like a band you really like, especially if it's an obscure band, because I listen to heavy metal, so I listen to some really obscure metal bands. I never meet fans of these bands anywhere I go. And I have that same feeling when I go to BTC Prague. Like when you go to a concert and suddenly everyone in the room is here for this one thing. They're all here because they're excited about it. They're passionate about it. That's how it feels going to BTC Prague, is like you can have conversations with your family or with your friends about Bitcoin, but when you go there, it's like people are driven and they are passionate and they're starting businesses around the technology. And you don't realize just how much is going on, how much is happening until you see this kind of like come together from everybody. And it was sort of one of the ideas or one of the questions I had for you, which was like, where did the idea to start this even come from? What gave you the idea or out of the confidence that something like this could work?
Well, it all started because I was super curious about Bitcoin and other crypto at that time. In 2018, I really started to dig in deep into those technologies and trying to figure out what is the right way, how to get the value, how to get more freedom, and honestly, how to get more wealthy from investment. So I was visiting different conferences around the world, and most of them, they were pretty poorly organized. So when I came back to Czech, we talk about this with my brother, Martin. I have a hospitality background. I used to run hotels and big establishments. I used to organize like hundreds of weddings and different balls and celebrations for hundreds of people. So I knew this part, and my brother, he used to work in e-commerce. So he was already visiting those expo for like IT expos in Czech Republic and in Europe. So we connected and we figured, hey, there is no Bitcoin conference in Czech Republic, so let's organize one. And this was before COVID. Then COVID happened, we had to postpone it. 2 times. And actually, the first conference happened in Ostrava, in my home city, in September 2020, which was still in the COVID time. That was when the shutdown of the economic system was still in place, that people couldn't meet. And we did it anyway. We attracted 500 people for the first conference. And that was like a signal for us that it makes sense. At the time, we still had our fiat jobs. This was just a two-man fun activity. And because no one else was doing anything, people were really hungry for any kind of events. We did it. We proved that it's possible. It's working with partners, with attendees, with speakers. Everyone was happy. And since that time, we are kind of doubling every year. And so the first idea happened because we thought that how we want to get better in Bitcoin. It's with learning. How do you want to learn something? You teach people. That's the best way how to learn, you know. And if you learn something, it's nice to share with others. So I think that the idea was kind of that we really want to connect with other Bitcoiners, and we saw the opportunity. So it was kind of a mix of those two things, and it quickly developed into a great business and passion and a mission to really move the needle and help Bitcoiners thrive in the upcoming years. You know, so it's the Bitcoin is just a entry pill for everything else. What is happening with the world?
Yeah, it really feels like each time. I mean, I guess I've only been twice, and then we're going again this year. It's one of the highlights of the year, like for sure. It's this thing that makes it feel like your knowledge and connection is just like in hyperdrive, because everywhere you turn, you're looking, like you see faces from the industry that you recognize and stuff. And you walk up to booths of people who are the guys. I think it was Cedor, Chris Cedor. He has like the metal backup, and he's like showing it to me in front of me. Like I'd only seen this guy on like Twitter up until that point, and then we're just having a conversation, like talking about things in person. And I have so many questions from the things you've said. I have things like written down here, but just from what you said as well. But like you mentioned the background in expos and wedding planning and this stuff from the two of you. So that's kind of where, because when I got there, I was like, how the hell does someone come up with this? How do you organize this much? I mentioned, this is off camera for everyone, but I mentioned before I came here and I did English teaching for a bit in the Czech Republic. It was like my entry job. And I kind of saw behind the scenes of how something like an English camp gets run. And that is a much, much smaller scale program compared to this conference. And I remember thinking like, this is so much work. Like they were spending months leading up to this like summer of camps, coming up with like activities and like work courses and things to do and scheduling, hiring people, like all these different things. So I was like, how in the world do they put something like this together? Something on this scale is crazy, this conference. So like how intimidating did it feel to you? With you had the experience, but it's like you hadn't done anything this big before, right? Prior to BTC Prague.
Well, the biggest event I done was like 1,000 people. It was a huge birthday celebration. We in one chateau in Moravia, in my region.
Yeah, it was quite a birthday party.
It was quite a
1,000 people.
yeah, like 2 day long, like a lot of food, a huge catering. So, but yeah, like I mean, it's a lot of hard work, but it never felt like a hard work. You know, that's I think the most important. We were always like doing things, and everything came up together quite easily. I mean, it was a lot of many hours, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, research, but kind of the luck was always there. We didn't have like hard times or some huge challenges to overcome because the market was really asking for it. So we were just building whatever it needs to meet the demand halfway.
And you said it was, like you said the word business. That was kind of one of the things I was curious about, is like this kind of, I feel like you almost get like forced into it being a business because it has to be at a certain point. Like you begin with this idea of, oh, I want to run a Bitcoin conference. Well, like, how do you go from that little spark into, I mean, something, there's like passion and the wanting to get something out there, but then there's the reality of like, we have to make sure everything is paid for or make a profit in order to do this in the future. It's like, how much of this to you is passion versus business? How does that ratio like feel in your head?
Yeah, well, I think that it's passion first and then business. It started like this, and the natural evolution of things led us to the necessity of really thinking about this as a business, because it's the only right compass. It's the only right compass, and once you start hiring people and you have employees, you're responsible for them, for their families, that they get paid and they like what they're doing and feel appreciated. So it's a lot of responsibility, and with this, you have to build on strong foundation. You have to think in very long term, because like especially in Bitcoin we have cycles, and what if 1 year will be really bad? That will be bear market. So yeah, we started as a passion project, but it very quickly grew to full-time job of me and Martin, because we knew that we want to do it better. And that means that we have to really focus on it, and we had to quit our regular jobs. We were really happy to do that. Yeah, honestly,
that's got to be a good feeling, right?
Yeah. It was a little scary feeling. Not just for us, but also for our families. But we did it, and it was a great decision. And we are scaling really every year. And we have so much to do. The ecosystem is very young, and there is a lot of space for entrepreneurs and people with innovative ideas, because we are really building the foundations, the new railways for the future generations. We are in a year 1, in a year 2, in Internet Age 95. So it's very exciting time.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane to me that it's only been like 3 years at this point, that you guys are just at the beginning. I think that was what was the most surprising thing, is going like, oh, this is my like I said, my first year was your second year. I wasn't in 2023. I went to 2024, which was the second BTC Prague conference. And so my expectations are like managed. I'm like, okay, so this is only the second time they've done something like this. And then again, like I said at the beginning, you walk in and I was like, holy hell. This is like full blown, like really, really rolling after just apparently 2 years. So walk me through, God, yeah, I do have so many questions. Walk me through like one whole year. What does it look like? Because we get to have all the fun, basically, is we get to show up and just absorb the conference. But then when that last day is over and you wake up the next day and it's all finished, 12 hours, they packed up, they took everything away. How does the next year feel like super heavy in your mind? And then what is the process? What are you doing month by month? Because is it all you're doing? Are you doing anything else? This is all you're doing?
This is all we're doing, yes.
Okay, because I was like, this has to be all they're doing. When I'm looking at the scope and the scale of everything, I was like, I've been waiting to get this opportunity to ask you, because I'm like, you can't possibly be doing anything else, right? Because it's such a massive endeavor. What does that month by month look like across the year from, I guess, middle of summer, it's like peak summer, all the way through each season until the next one? What are you doing that entire year?
It's a lot of planning, a lot of planning. So first, after event itself, after finish, we have like 3 more weeks of like really hard work packaging all these videos. It's 4 stages. True.
Yeah, all the post-production kind
all
of
the
stuff,
post-production,
right?
all like we are dealing with those echoes from the conference. talking to all these speakers, collecting feedback from attendees, partners, sorting out the financials, dealing with the recordings, like posting it on YouTube.
That's a lot of footage.
Yeah, a lot of footage, a lot of footage. After we done that, we do a lot of thinking and retrospection. What can be done better? Where there are the bottlenecks? And then we kind of sketch the plan for the next year. And we split the work between the team and we start offloading the tasks. Yeah, like we start thinking about the production. And for me personally, I'm the creative part of the team and I'm the program director. So I curate all 4 stages. I get touch in with pretty much every single speaker you can see on the lineup. So I'm trying to stay up to date and like watch the trends, so I can create the program for people, just like sorting out the noise, just trying to find the chaos, find the signal in the chaos, and I'm making a lot of notes and thinking about it, and then reaching out to the speakers and talking about it with them, because I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I just have a very good people around me who are just one call away. And so I'm just talking about things and trying to put them together and log them very soon, trying to get the commitment from them. So I can save some time in the less busy time of the year. So then later on, like now, like 3 months or 2 months before the conference, we are so busy that like most of the program is actually done. It's actually like almost ready to be published, because I was working on it like months before, like 6 months before.
Yeah, it is crazy, because I was also thinking, I mean, that was another question I had. I was thinking like, how hands-on is this guy? Because what I'm picturing is like the first year, it's like you're handling everything. You've got so much, because you're starting it. There's like so much. You're responsible for 100%. You probably haven't hired people to delegate all these different tasks. But year over year, you start to expand. You start to give it to more and more people. And that's like the classic problem that someone who's managing an event or a task or something has, is that you start to be less direct. It's not you doing something like one-to-one with people every single time. Now you've got like a guy for that or something. So I didn't know how much you still are like personally in contact with everything versus like how big. You said it was what, like a team of, it was like 10 or something?
Yeah, at this moment we are a team of 10.
I mean, that's also crazy to me that it's like 10 people organizing this huge thing.
Well, we did it in 3. The first year, we were only 3 people. And we did it. Now it's a little bit bigger, a little bit better. And we are 10, you know. But it's different, you know. It's because we also adding some other stuff. So we really need the people. And also, like, to be honest with you, like me and Martin, we are getting tired. It's been a ride. It's
4
been
full years of this?
Yeah, well, pretty much 6, because we started in 2020 with this Czech-speaking Bitcoin conference, Chain Camp.
Yeah.
So now we are in the 6th year of this hustle.
Man, yeah, that's I guess that does make sense. I realized that afterwards, but I was like, yeah, there was the prep before this thing ever happened in the first place. Like, another question I had is, I know just from helping run things, again, much smaller scale, but in the things that I've been involved in, I know there's always like either problems or roadblocks or things you don't expect that come up that it's kind of behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like no one sees it usually, because you're the one plugging holes and keeping the walls standing and stuff like that.
That's the only certainty that something will go wrong.
What kind of things have you experienced? Like, what has happened in the past 3 years, or even like how bad was it the first year compared to more
Yeah,
recent years? Has
yeah.
it smoothed out over time?
Yeah, like I shouldn't say that, because like those are
Nobody
things
actually knows. They don't see it.
no one knows
Yeah.
about those things, and we have so many stories, and some of them are on the real edge, and I won't go out with those stories. And some of them, like, we managed pretty much everything. We never had like we had some big troubles, we had some big challenges. We've managed all of them. It like I have some gray hairs from this, and my brother even more. And for example, last year we had a huge problem with our venue, our contractors, who, like, really, and I must swear here because they really fucked up. They have sold a part of the property what we've rented, and we've had this in our agreement. They sold it again. It was an access road. They sold
That feels pretty critical.
they sold
to
it
me.
again to different different organizer who was bigger than us, and they were renting a different part of the venue because the venue is huge. We are renting only 1/3.
Yeah, there's multiple.
There are
like
multiple
warehouses, basically.
multiple
Right?
warehouses, and then like a field where many of like music festivals are happening.
Actually, I saw Iron Maiden last
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is where BTC Prague is. Like, that was what I thought when I showed up.
No. That's a different organizer. And so this venue, they sold this access road to this different entity. And we figured out, they didn't tell us. We figured out the day before. Because
One day?
yeah, they stopped our cars.
Uh-huh.
It was a huge problem.
That is stressful.
It was a huge problem with logistics, also security protocols. And yeah, we've dealt with it, but it was a huge problem, like lawyers involved. But like you don't have time to wait for lawyers. Like if you're expecting thousands of people the next day, and dozens of trucks full of material, and everyone is waiting because you have a time schedule to meet. So this was a huge problem. And then we had, just the same day, we had also one big problem, which was funny comparing to that one. And that was that our manager of the beer stations forgot to order caps, plastic caps for beer. So we were short 10,000 caps. Yeah, you don't want to have this problem in the morning before the conference starts. 10,000 caps. It's a full van.
Yeah. It's just insane to me how the most random thing can be this like bottleneck, no pun intended, to the whole like conference. I mean, maybe it doesn't cause the whole thing to grind to a halt, but how much impact that can have. I mean, obviously when you're the one doing it, you're like hyper aware of every single little thing because you know every detail, you know everything inside and out. Like there's been like, I don't know, random things with like we make the videos at Trezor. There's tiny little things that don't really matter, I think, to a lot of people that we notice.
Yeah.
We always notice if like a word is off or like a subtitle has a typo or something like that. But in the end, I mean, I can tell you again, as someone who's been going to BTC Prague, like, it's, I guess, because you solved it, but I never felt any sort of ripple or any sort of like,
Thanks.
oh, this is off. Like it's always, I don't know, run just to, as someone who also creates, just to give you that assurance. Like it's always felt really good. But like, I was just curious because I was like, I'm positive this stuff has had to have happened because it happens everywhere. It's like, yeah, like you said, it's guaranteed. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. But you can prepare for a lot of situations. So we have handbrakes, we have protocols for so many different situations which can happen. Like we are ready if speaker cancels on the very very last moment. I have like 4 jokers in my hand which I can play. We have extra staffing. We have volunteers who run out if there is a thunderstorm and will help to cover everything. And when the storm goes out, they have racks and paper towels to just quickly wash everything so it's dry again.
Which that did happen one of the years, didn't it?
Every year it happens.
Every year it's happened? Yeah, I was like, I remember that happening at some point.
Yeah. It happened. I remember I was walking Michael Saylor through the expo hall at the first year of the conference in 2023, and we went to the mid hall, to the entry kind of spot where you decide if you want to go to the main stage or to the expo. And I was just walking him out to show him the outside area, and suddenly I look and it was like raining cats and dogs, it was crazy. I was like, okay, let's go this way.
I mean, there's nothing you can do.
And it stopped in like 10-15 minutes. It stopped. We are very lucky with the weather because it's June, so it's usually the less statistically less raining month in a year. It's a summertime, so it always rains, but just a little bit.
Yeah, and speaking of, the next question was going to be guests. Like you mentioned, Michael Saylor. There's some really big names that show up at the conference. I mean, you see people that it's not just like huge, but like creators that you know personally. Like we had BTC Isla on this show, and I see her at the conference every single year. She's like a friend now, basically. When always know she's going to be there. Lena Zeicha is always there. I told you Chris Seedor, Brains, the company that took Slush Pool and now does you can buy mini miners at BTC Prague. How do you find and connect with all of these guests? Like, how do you get these people up on stage, and what's the process for actually getting them on board when the time comes?
Oh, well, it used to be very difficult when we started in 2023, when we had this idea to start BTC Prague. In 2022, no one knew about us outside from Czech and Slovakia Bitcoin community. No one knew about me and Martin. So we were traveling a lot. We flew to LA because we knew that there is Michael Saylor speaking at the Pacific Bitcoin conference. So we flew there to meet him, to shake his hand, to pitch our idea. I flew to Tokyo to meet Jack Dorsey. I flew to where was it? I met Natalie Brunel, Jeff Booth, Jack Mellers. So in 2022, I think I visited 17 conferences in 1 year. It was a lot of traveling around the world just to meet the speakers and shake their hands and introduce myself and our vision. Now it's much easier. I usually have a Signal connection, so we just schedule a call and talk about what we can do together to help Bitcoin adoption, to help people who are thriving for more freedom and who wants to get ready for the next etap of the paradigm change. And everyone is aligned, we know that it's necessary to do this. And I feel very very humbled by the approach of most of the speakers. They are super helpful and also super humble when it comes to logistics, scheduling, and pretty much helping us to create BTC Prague. It's been a great experience with 99% of speakers.
So in the beginning, it was really just legwork. You're out there getting your face in front of people, actually shaking hands with them and pitching your idea.
Yeah.
I guess now you have your track record. You've got 4 years. You can point to something with the hours and hours of video you were talking about that you had to edit. I mean, that I can see a bit more. It feels like it'd be easier now. But I was like, how do you do this the first time? I mean, that makes sense, I guess. But that is again a crazy amount of work.
It's this question came to me so many times, and I really believe that it is possible. We were super dedicated to create this Bitcoin conference in heart of Europe, in Prague, because everything was pointing us to this, the ecosystem, Prague is a heart of Bitcoin in Europe. That's where Trezor happened, like the first mining pool, the first secure element happened. We have such a great community. The people are power users and they know what they're doing. They like the right way of using Bitcoin without KYC, self-custody. So, and the surrounding countries as well, Germany, Italy, UK, like we have so many great Bitcoin communities. And we've recognized with Martin that each of this community is living their own life behind the language barrier. They were not, the communities, they were not communicating with each other. And we've recognized that Europe needs a point where the communities can meet and learn from each other and kind of help each other to grow, because like you are from US, you have a big advantage of one common language.
Yeah.
But in Europe, we have so many languages and so many cultures. But the European Union, which is leading us to the doomsday, you know, it's just throwing out, stones and rocks underneath our feet and trying to overregulate us. It's not good, you know, like, I mean, it's almost over. We need to keep up for a little bit longer. I'm very hopeful about the future of Europe. But this is one more reason why we are doing it, because we need a place where Bitcoiners and freedom-loving folks can meet, shake their hands, and synchronize on the steps which are needed for making the future we really want to see. It won't be built by itself, and it won't be definitely built by politicians and bureaucrats. It will be built by powerful and well-motivated sovereign individuals.
Yeah, the passion behind the projects that you see here is like almost tangible. It's like you can really feel in the communities here. I mean, particularly the Czech Republic, like you said, I didn't realize just how much was done in this country until I started working for Trezor. Like I knew Trezor, that was the thing I've always known. Didn't realize Brains was originally Slushbowl. Didn't realize how much it actually started here. Then discovered BTC Prague. I was like, man, this is a hub. And also like geographically, like it really is, like you said, it's in the heart of Europe, which really kind of acts as this easy access point, I think, to the rest of the continent. And yeah, seeing that play out is super fun and really cool. I know you mentioned having other like passions in terms of Bitcoin, the technology, what it does. Like, do you have time for that? Or what are specific things that you like about Bitcoin or the advancing technology as well?
Well, I see Bitcoin as just one tool for to thrive in the future. I'm kind of this has been distillating in me for past 2 years, and I'm seeing that AI, robotics, different kind of biohacking techniques and like longevity tools and services are really trendy, and they will be even more trendy. I feel like we are living in a time which I would compare to the Industrial Revolution, but this is a digital Industrial Revolution with effects which I can't even guess how big they will be.
Yep.
So, like, if there is some hack which can help me to live better life, I take it, you know? And we have so many of those things, what Bitcoiners tend to like to talk about, you know, like new ways of education and parenting, healthy lifestyle, biohacking, mitochondrial biology, quantum biology, AI, clothes, different agents, Nostr, decentralized social media, censorship resistance, prepping, citadel building for a time of uncertainty, regenerative farming, healthy food, local communities shaking your farmer hand. You know, like every second Bitcoiner is a rancher now. It's it's crazy, but we are really coming back to the real world. I really like it. I feel it's exciting, and Bitcoin for me is kind of an entry drug. Is like the most important piece, but it's not the only one. And yes, I have time for these other things too, because it's just so exciting that I really need to find the time to research that for myself first, for my family, and then if I find it interesting and I kind of check it by myself, I verify it, so to say. Don't trust, verify.
Yep.
Don't leave the rock unturned. Then I'm happy to share it with my community. So I'm bringing this to BTC Prague. This year we have a new track. It's called Bitcoin Living Masterclass. And it will be focused on all these other topics, what I just said. And we have dedicated one stage for a whole day for just this one track. Because I just believe it's absolutely necessary to have those other tools in your toolbox.
Yeah, the amount of change that we've seen throughout our lives, I've had similar thoughts. I was like, but I don't know, I had them split up, I guess, in my head growing up. It's like, we invented the computer, that's absolutely a revolution. And then came the internet. I was like, okay, that's a revolution. And then like the smartphone, I'm like, well, this is a revolution.
Yeah.
Like now cryptocurrency, now AI. So like all of this is like one giant, I mean, yeah, you could say digital, you could say technological revolution of some sort. I think in the future it'll be packaged that way. But each of them in their own right was absolutely massive for humanity. And it's all like speeding up, like all these things that you're talking about. Yeah, it's, as people often say, like just trying to keep up is a chore in and of itself, because like so much, it's difficult for your brain just to process the amount of change that's happening year over year.
It is impossible to keep up and process the change. And that's why I think it's very important to have someone who is curating it for you and who is navigating you. So you don't go to the dead alleys and dead roads. You don't waste time.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what is happening at BTC Prague.
Well, yeah. One more question about BTC Prague. This is more just like a curiosity one. Do you think anyone is capable of putting on a conference like this, or do you think it takes a certain type of person or a certain kind of experience in order to pull something like this off?
Oh, well, I mean, I think yes. Like it's not a rocket science. It's more like a juggling 12 balls.
Juggling act.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
not without dropping. It's certainly, and I know other conference organizers. They always like the topic, what they do. I think that's the starting point. If you really like what you're doing, you don't feel like working. Conference planning puts you into a position when you have to kick yourself. You are your own boss, and you need to have very long-term vision, because, like as I said before, we are working on it 1 year. You're working 1 year for 3 days.
Yeah.
That's the mind shift. What you have to have, and you don't think like you still have 11 months, so you take 1 month off. It doesn't work like that. So if you are this kind of a person who is like very dedicated and can have this long-term view, perhaps that's the starting point for being a good organizer.
So probably not me. That's each time I hear someone like talking about starting a business, for example, I'm like, oh, it's like super cool. Sounds like a really fun idea. But then like you talk to a business owner and they're like, for the first year, you'll be spending 100-hour weeks. Like every single week, it will be all of your time.
Yeah. Weekends.
And I bet like, I'm sure like you get the benefits from it as well. You get like, the satisfaction in knowing that you accomplished this thing. But I've always just been like, I don't know. I like my quiet mornings with coffee where no one bothers me, and I'm not responsible for all these people's questions, for a few hours out of every day. Like, I just don't. I feel like that would just be so much. Oh, it is. It is that much.
It is. You know, like I used to work like 18 and 22-hour shifts as a hotel manager. So like 12 now, it's fine.
Yeah, that's also not me. I don't think I've ever spent 22 hours doing anything in my life. No one thing for 22 hours
yeah.
other than like being alive, but like no singular task or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, you know, like it's also very good to be stress resistant. Like you got to this point where we are now, for example, just 2 months before the conference, which just there is like infinite amount of work. Infinite. You can't keep up.
Yeah.
It's impossible for the whole team, not only for you, because there is always another task waiting, and you kind of have to be in a zen with it. So it trains your mind in a way that, like, the way that we've scaled up until now, it trained me that I can handle it now. I wouldn't be able to handle this kind of a stress situation in 2020 because, like, we had just a little problems in comparison what we are dealing with at this moment, for example.
And it was, how many people was it in the first year?
It was just me and my brother.
I mean, attendees.
Oh, attendees, there was 500.
500 for BTC Prague?
No, for BTC Prague, it was more than 7,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've been around. I mean, wasn't it like 9, 10 last year? I don't know how many it was.
It was more than 8,000.
8.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So we've got this. Yeah, I mean, that's huge. That's a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I am like a pretty good stress manager person compared to a lot of people, but then I think of something like that and I'm like, maybe not. Maybe I'm not, because that just feels, just thinking about it gets my cortisol pumping a little bit.
Yeah. You know, I like the saying from Captain Jack Sparrow: the problem is not the problem. The problem is your attitude about the problem. I'm always reminding this to our team. Sometimes it helps.
So you're saying that Captain Jack Sparrow helped inspire BTC Prague. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, definitely inspired me. You know, I'm a big fan of like this whole pirate culture.
Yeah. Not just the series, like pirates.
Yeah, like
In
pirates,
general,
ships, and sailing.
I mean, they are cool.
They are really cool, and they were rough.
No denying that.
And they were rough, and they were also doing a business. You know, like most of the pirates were actually just not in a good agreement with a king. You know, they were just trying to find a way. It was this kind of a bureaucracy in that particular time. Most of, like, of course, they were just like bloody pirates, you know, like these kind of bloody pirates. I don't like that.
Yeah. But yeah, some crossover with themes on how people feel about, I guess, authorities, authoritative bodies and stuff like that. I got one last question for you here, just about the conference in the future, but what is it that you want BTC Prague to become in the future? Or are you happy with the way things are? Do you just want to like have a place, this hub for people to go? Or is there more that you want to develop? Any ways you want to expand? So I don't even know how that would look. Like there's physical limits to what you can do. So it's like, if you want to grow or continue in that direction, what is the game plan or the hope for you?
Well, we are always answering the demand. As for now, I see that the demand is going towards all these other topics, what Bitcoiners love to talk about, and what are the necessary tools we need to teach the community. So I think that we will go this road. We will be just introducing more and more topics which are somehow connected to Bitcoin, and they will be just completing the whole picture. And perhaps in a few years, we will become more like a freedom festival, you know? It's more like a huge gathering of people who tend to like similar things. Like if you go to the metal or rock concert, you meet the people who are close to your heart. So I think that I would like to create something like this, and who knows where we will be in 5 years? That's too far. That's too far.
Yeah.
I don't even want to act like I see that far. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I can see like maybe towards 2027, and that's it.
Well, I can say I'm excited to see where it goes, like how things develop and form and shape up. If you have not been to BTC Prague, if you're listening, wherever you're living, it's just a ticket for the conference and a plane ticket to the Czech Republic. Very easy to navigate this city, really easy to get there. So if you want to come out and meet the people at this conference, I can tell you from a personal standpoint, it is worth it. It is a ton of fun. The city itself is super fun, so you have that benefit as well. But thank you so much for coming out, Matyáš. We have one tradition at the end of the podcast that I just call the awkward handshake, because we kind of have these things in the way, so it's kind of difficult to get around.
Sean.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and talking with us. Well, when do you want this episode to come out? Do you want to time it at a certain time before the conference itself?
Well, I would
I was
say
like, the timing's pretty good right now because it's like about to go out.
well, I would say ASAP. Yeah,
Get
like
it going.
it takes time to plan your trip to Prague.
Oh, that's true.
June is behind the corner.
Yeah.
It takes time to book the flights, book the hotel.
Get people over here.
Yeah, like you can buy the ticket a little bit later. Like don't wait up because the price goes up. But
That's true.
But the hotels, that's important. Yeah.
So
you are not staying on the other part of the Prague.
Yeah, so we got to jump on top of our post-production, just like you after BTC Prague is over.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for coming out. I guess we'll see you in a few months.
In a few
down
months.
the road.
Yeah. See you in Prague.
Yeah,
Thank you very
man.
much.
See you soon.